One of the first things I like to do is to dye my stockings. I have my stockings here. I actually have 8 total, which is 4 of these bubble things, which are awesome. You can get 2 for $1 at Walgreens, I believe. Yeah, these are fantastic. So I like to have 8, and I have my stuff all laid out. And the reason I do this is because sometimes you get a run or a rip in them. But if you're lucky and you don't, you get 2 pairs of wings. Yay! So that's what I like to do. I'm boiling water right now, and soon I will pour the boiling water in there, and we could get started with the dyeing. Yay! So I added my dye, my vinegar, and the boiling water is in there. So now I'm going to take my stockings, drop them all. Whoops, whoops, okay. Trying to get them all evenly. See, so glad I have that. And just keep them there for a little bit. So I have my stockings all rinsed. This process always reminds me of Easter because of the smell with the vinegar and the dye. It reminds me, you know, like dyeing the eggs at Easter, so it's kind of fun. But yeah, so they're all dyed. There's going to be some variation. That's fine. I think it actually adds a little bit of character to the wings when there's slightly different color variations. Also, if you want a slightly lighter shade, for example, if you want a lighter shade of purple, if you put in more stockings after dyeing these, after you take them out, the next batch will be a lighter color. That is something I learned, and that was pretty neat. So I'm just passing that info on to you. So while you're waiting for the stockings to dry, one of the things you could do is start designing your wings. That's what the big pieces of paper are for. Here's some wings that I have designed and have used multiple times. I even wrote little notes like 60-inch wire, 43-inch wings. And I like to add the veining onto it. You'll see why later, but it's a good idea if you have an idea for the veining, if you want veining. It's a good idea to do that. Okay, so I have my little wing design here, and I have my wire. I have this whole thing. It's 14 gauge and electric fence wire. Works for me. I'm going to leave about that much out, and then I'm gonna hold it with my knee. Okay, and yes, I do wear my blue robe an awful lot. Actually, I have a couple of blue robes, don't judge. But yes, I'm going to bend this wire to the outline I made. And then, see, I have my shape. See, just kind of twisting it. Okay, so as you see, I bent the wire to the shape of the wing, or part of the wing I wanted. This is going to be the lower part. I also drew the upper part, which I'm also gonna bend the wire to that, and of course you're gonna want 2 sets. So after you're done doing that and securing it, however you wish to secure it, that's how I did mine. Not the greatest, but that's what we're doing right now. You take the stockings that we dyed and duct tape. Yep, duct tape, dyed stockings, and electrical fence wire, because you know what, we're not fancy folk. We are so not fancy folk. So once you get the stocking on, you put a little bit of super glue to make this seam kind of go with the wires so you don't have this stuff. Just kind of move it around, stick it on, and then you secure with duct tape, like so. We can move on to the next step, which is one of my favorites. Remember how I suggested you draw the veining along with the shape you wanted? This is why it becomes handy, because you put your wing on top of here. Okay, it's not going to be exact, and that's okay. That's fine. As long as you know, have the basic shape, you can kind of bend it a little bit to fit it better. But as long as you have the basic shape, it's fine. And then you take whatever color you want of your dimensional paint. I picked the lighter ones because since this is darker. Yeah, and then you do the veining. So I think I'm gonna do silver, because I think that will look really pretty with this. So what you do, just put the wing basically on the line here. You take your dimensional dimensional paint, and you just follow the lines. All the veining that you drew. You're going to want to do the other side, but don't do the other side until this side dries. For the love of Bob. Remember that. Otherwise, don't ruin your wing. I will be very upset if you ruin your wings. Alright, so I got my wing, the veining. It's not a very good job, but let's pretend I did a better job on it. Let's pretend I did actually have super glue to do that seam there. I ran out. So, but next, I'm going to take this incense and kind of plan out where I want the holes to go. It's up to you if you even want them, but then I'm going to do this. And there we go. I mean, you can add more if you want, and I like to add the little dimensional fabric paint around them just to make sure they don't run. So once you get all your veining, your holes, whatever other little decorations you want to do, once you're done with that, you start to kind of lay them out and put them together. Like, for example, I'm going to cut the wires here and here, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my zip ties and put these, like, zip tie them together. If you want this to be a corset piece, you would add like a little metal ring here, so you could just slip it in between your back and the corset, and that's like a neat little thing to do. But I'm not going to do that. Okay, so I arranged it here, and I already started with the zip ties. Have my zip tie bucket right there. Might have to do some extra clipping. I think I need to clip those a little better. But for the most part, I arranged it and started zip tying it. I'll add more. Make sure this is going to be facing outside, because you don't want this facing towards your skin. But yeah, next up, putting duct tape over it. Woohoo! Now that I have my duct tape down, I'm going to use a felty material. At least I like a felty material. And I tape down the end of it, and then let's see if I can get it focus here. And I just wrap it. I just keep wrapping it. Like I like to start a little bit here to hide all the bits I can. As you can see, I didn't cut this wire very well. So I would probably clip this wire, and then I would wrap it as far as I can this way, and then just wrap up to here, keep wrapping it until the strip ends. And then at the end, after I'm done wrapping, I like to sew the other end to itself, just to give it a nice finish, because, you know, using duct tape, no, that's just not gonna look good. So this is a pair of wings that I already wrapped. Yep, I already have it wrapped all the way around, and then as you can see here, maybe you can't see very well. Focus, focus, focus. Oh, your focus. Ah. Seriously, focus. Okay, see here? Just sewed it down to make sure it would hold, and yeah. So yeah, you have a pair of wings. And with these, I think you'll notice that they look a little more three-dimensional. And that's because at the edges, I diluted acrylic paint, or you can spray paint the edges around here, or airbrush. Like I did, I actually used acrylic paint, watered down, and just went along here to give it, you know, the look of three-dimension. But yeah, a little bit here. So that's something you can do if you feel up for the challenge. Otherwise, they honestly, here's a pair of wings that I was working on. They look pretty good without that too. So yeah, there you go. And if you want to get super crazy, you know, feel free to add like embellishments. These, I believe I just spray painted in them different colors instead of dyeing. Dyeing is much easier in my opinion. However, I want to get fancy with these, so I did. So I went all out. And this is the this would be an addition if you wanted to use a corset. It's actually really nice. You just make a loop with the electric wire you have, like, well, you would want to double it to make sure it was sturdy, and then you just zip tie, wrap it around, you know, do whatever you need to do to make it stay, and there you go. And these are really cool wings because they're very light, easy to wear, like it's flexible, so you're not going to be, if you do hit someone, it's really not that hard. So yeah, there you go.